Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Haunt Talk. In today's episode we are going to be reviewing Indiana Fear Farm in Jamestown, Indiana. It's like 40-ish minutes away from Indianapolis. This was the last one we visited as part of our, Indianapolis trip, whatever. This was the fifth and final one we did on that trip, and it was between this one or what was the other one? Indy Scream Park, I think is what it was called. And we decided to go to this one because it was also at Hayride, which we don't get to do many Hayrides. We had done Hannah's Haunted Acres, and then this one had a hayride and it had a haunted house. And we just kind of decided that we wanted to do this a little bit more. It seemed a little bit more like a local thing, so we decided to go and try that out. So if you're into haunted hayrides, make sure to stick around for the review of Indiana Fear Farm. So yeah, when you pull up to the place, it is, for one, driving to the place, it is the only one that we went to in this area that was just kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
It literally was.
It kind of felt like we were going to a PA house, because all these back roads, really twisty, windy roads, very
really
dark.
Twisty, yeah. I was kind of scared. I put my deer headlights on. I was like, oh God, where are we going?
Yeah. And then you pull up, and you can't really see anything. We could see some lights in the trees, but the lights were very far from the haunt that we saw. But we're like, well, that has to be part of it. What else could it be? And then you park in this big field, and then you walk up, and they have a midway. They do have concessions. They have a cute little fire pit area. There's a lot of chaperones.
Yeah.
Sitting there.
I called the fire pit the chaperone pit because it was basically a bunch of older folks waiting for the kids to go through the haunted houses and stuff.
And there are people roasting s'mores and stuff, so I'm assuming there's a s'mores kit you can buy. It was just a cute little area. It wasn't a big midway or anything, and I didn't really see anything else extra to do, I don't think. It was mainly just concessions and sitting by the fire pit.
Yeah.
But there is the hayride, and then there is the barn that you get to go on. The hayride had a massive line. We were actually shocked. This was the biggest line we had seen, and they do not offer fast passes here, which we'll talk more in value, but that's kind of why the line was so long, because this is kind of an old school place. But yeah, I think that being said, we'll just go ahead and get right into our review now, which as always means we must refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! So one thing we want to preface before we actually get into the review, this is going to be a little bit different from what we do typically with these reviews. So this place is very obviously focused on the hayride, not so much the actual house. At least that's how it seemed to us. So we are going to be reviewing score-wise just off the hayride. Yeah. Because without spoiling the entire review, we were very impressed with the hayride, but not as much as the barn, and you can buy just the hayride. And I think that's what not almost everyone, that's what most people were doing.
I want to say 75% were probably just doing that.
Because the line for the house was very short, while the line for the hayride was not short at all. So I just want to kind of preface that. Now at the end, for the overall, we are going to give an overall score for the hayride and for the slaughter barn, or whatever they call it. Yeah. Just so that way you can have an overall score, but we didn't feel like scoring both individually. But we are going to be talking about the slaughter barn briefly in each category, but it's mainly going to be the hayride. So, one thing that's really interesting is the line was really long, but they did move it pretty fast because it felt like a Disney ride. Soon as one tractor left, another one was pulling up, unloading, loading. Yeah. They really had it down to a science.
Yeah. And even when they took off, when the hay wagon took off, it was full speed ahead.
Oh yeah.
So they were just constantly going, and I was amazed on how efficient they were with it.
Yeah, it was really crazy, and it is a real hay ride. Yes. Where you actually have to sit on hay, pretty much almost exactly like Hannah's Haunted Acres, how the actual wagon worked. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy because there's a decent drive to get back to the woods, and you're booking it. And there's speakers on the hayride, which are cool because they change on every scene basically. Yeah. So as you're going, there's a guy that's giving you the rules, and it's kind of funny, but it's cool. But it gets the point across, which I liked. And then they play some rock music, and then it's cool as you're pulling up to the entrance. I forget what the song was, but it's something basically like it's some kind of song about like welcoming you to the show type of thing, which I thought was cool.
It was Ladies and Gentlemen, yeah.
Okay.
I want to say Saliva, but maybe. I might be wrong.
A lot of butt rock, which like gets you in the mood for like Halloween.
Yeah.
Now that's not every scene. Like once you actually enter the haunt, it like kind of goes based on the scene that you're on.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of get into talking about that. We've never seen a haunted hayride done like the way this one's done.
Yeah.
Basically, imagine a normal haunted hayride. Well, you know, like how when you're listening to a podcast, you can like up the speed to like ×2, ×3, ×4. It's like that, but with a hayride. And like everything was just turned up to 11, and it was just full speed ahead. I mean, my God, you just flew through these things. And like typically, I wouldn't like that, but the hayride was designed to be taken at such a speed.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really hard to kind of not talk about the actors in the sets and props, so I think we might have to kind of, I don't know.
Just kind of combine it, and then we'll just kind of give you scores and stuff.
I guess. Well, we'll kind of just talk about what the scenes were, and then we'll just move into actors. Okay. So, you go through a purge scene. There's a cute western town. There's a pirate ship, which was like multiple ships on both sides of you. That was neat.
There's a circus tent with clowns.
Which you were in for about 30 seconds.
Not even. It was like, hi, bye. You just like the flaps, like literally, like the flaps to the tent were like, like right into my face, and I'm just like, where were we? Were we in a tent?
There's a really cool there's a Beetlejuice and the Thriller scene, which we were going to talk about that in actors because, we're going to save that. There is a train. There's a lot of fire, just randomly, things just spewing fire and scaring you. A lot of decent explosions. There's like a machine gun at one point that was shooting up over top of you.
Oh, yeah, because we went into like kind of like a apocalyptic kind of area and stuff like that. And there was a machine gun shooting. There was a really cool garage scene where like the metal doors and stuff were just slamming at you.
Yeah. There was a cool Sleepy Hollow scene, which we'll talk more about in the actors. There was a really cool, like, finale double chase scene where you're chased by a combine, then chased by a police car right after that. Like, it was pretty quick, too, and the police car was, like, really close, if not hitting it. Yeah. This is one haunt. They warn you, and you need to listen to the warning. Do not put your hands outside of this wagon. Things are so close quarters, and you're moving at such a breakneck speed through this fucking thing. Like, you don't put your hands out. My God. And then, so the Slaughter Barn. Wasn't a lot of scenes in that one. It was very old school. Very old school. I mean, there's slaughter theme. There's like hanging pigs and stuff like that. There's a probably the funniest thing that you have to do in there is you go up this like really steep ramp up into like a little attic kind of scene, and then you have to go down a really steep ramp that has a claustrophobia tunnel all around it.
Yeah, that was a surprise because like I was leading and I like, oh, it's a claustrophobia tunnel, but it wasn't like full. It was just kind of slightly inflated, and I took one step and it just went down, and I'm like, oh no. Yeah. And so of course I'm warning him. I'm like, it's going down, and he's like, what? And I'm like, it's a ramp going down. And it was we've never seen that before. It was really unique.
Yeah. And there's like a cool cave scene at the end, but mostly it was just kind of like dark hallways, like pallet maze type of situation in there. So again, so for the hayride, we are giving it a 9 for sets and props. There's really cool big sets and props, really cool lit, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to move into actors, which is going to make talking about those scenes a little bit easier here. I've never seen so many actors on a hayride before. It was really weird, but in a good way. I wouldn't say the hayride was overly scary, but it was extremely thrilling and very sensory overload.
Yes, very entertaining, very sensory overload, just kind of manic.
Very manic.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it, is manic.
Gunshots, fire spewing. I mean, when the actors come in, there's so many actors coming at the hay wagon, all the time, where they would just be coming out of everywhere, just slamming on the side. They never boarded the hay wagon, because I don't think, you'd have to be a freaking, amazing athlete to be able to get on this thing with the speeds we're moving. But that's what was crazy, is we're moving at these speeds, and the actors are moving at these speeds coming at us. like I said, in the Western, it was cool. They were like shooting at each other and stuff like that. They would jump and hang up on they would hang on like the sides, but I would say every scene had at least 5 acters in it. Yeah. I mean, even like the circus thing that you're in there for, again, like not even 30 seconds. Like they're just
and
jumping.
And there was at least
everywhere.
5 or 6 clowns inside there. Yeah.
The first, well, no, I'd say like the first crazy scene that was really kind of started differentiating it from any other hayride was the pirate scene.
Yes.
Because there's a whole pirate battle.
There was a whole pirate battle. They kind of looked a little bit like Davy Jones kind of characters, where they were kind of like in like ghillie suits, like maybe they were transforming into like, you know, like aquatic people or whatever you want to call it. There was gunfire, there was cannons blowing,
shooting at you, yeah,
shooting at us, of course, because
yeah.
There's 2 ships kind of like next to each other like this, and you're going in between them. Very Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, you're going in between. There was probably at least 5 or 6 people on each ship.
Oh, at least, yeah. I mean, there's people on zip line. I think someone like fell off the crow's nest. I think.
Yes, there was somebody on a zip line. Somebody fell off a crow's nest. Yeah, so it was really like crazy.
Well, it's also crazy how the things have to be timed, because again, the only time this hayride stops moving is when you're like leaving and coming in, waiting for the other wagons to pass.
Yes.
In the actual haunt, it doesn't stop moving. And so like the actors have to have all this timed as it's moving through. And then the craziest scene I've ever seen on a hayride, you go up and it's Beetlejuice hanging this girl, and then you go under this bridge, and then you come in and you see there's like, I don't even know, there's like 20 to 30 actors.
Yeah.
And
half of them were Beetlejuice.
Yeah. And then it breaks out into that dance. What's the song?
Shake, Shake, Senora.
Senora? Yeah, that song.
Yeah.
And
Jump in the line.
And it just turns into this giant dance jamboree.
Yeah.
And there's so many actors.
It was so cool. It was so cool. I've never seen anything.
Never seen so many actors. 20 to 30 of them. They're all just having a dance party. And you're just part of it. And yeah, Beetlejuice is flying over your head in a zip line. And he's like, reaching down at you and stuff. And it was just so weird. And I mean, this was one of the longer scenes because it was big and you like circle it. So you really get to see it. Shortly after this was a Michael Jackson Thriller scene, funny enough, because we talked about the Reaper's Revenge one. This one wasn't as unique as the Reaper's Revenge one, but again, there was like, somewhere vicinity of 10 to 20 actors there as well, just dancing to Thriller on both sides of you, and like I think it was kind of like themed like city streets or something.
Yeah, it was like graffiti walls, and then there was at least 10 people on each side, and then there was also a bridge over us, and there was a guy dressed as Michael from the video.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool, and he was hanging over and like trying to grab at you and stuff like that. And yeah, everybody was just doing the Thriller dance. It was just wow. Yeah. It was just really cool.
There's just so many back there. The garage scene was cool because, like Kim said, like the windows were coming open where people were coming out of those windows, but it's and so the whole doors weren't opening. That it was a really cool scare that actually did get me because just the windows were doors and they were opening and people were popping out of them. It was just it really was sensory overload. The way they would just run up at the hay wagons and just beat the crap out of the sides of the hay wagons just out of nowhere and just constantly everywhere all the time. And then you get it's not the finale, because the finale would be the chase scene of the Combine and the police car.
Yeah.
But there's a really cool... You see it when you go in, because, again, you have to take the same path to leave as you did to go in, where you see, like, a sign after you cross the bridge angled in the opposite direction saying, "Welcome to Sleepy Hollow." And it's like, well, that's weird. But then you come back that way and it makes more sense. And then, of course, outside of, like, the barn, the Headless Horseman comes riding up on a real horse and all of that stuff. And that was a really cool scene. I kind of wish that there was like a glowing pumpkin head in some way that he could do. I mean, I get it. He's controlling a live horse, so probably can't do that. But it would have been cool if there's some way to attach like a fake arm, him like holding the glowing jack-o'-lantern. Because it was a little hard to see him because the horse was pitch black and he was in pitch black. And it was a darker night. So you could obviously tell what was going on, but it would have been cool to have a little bit of light on him. But it was really cool being chased by like a actor on a live horse, which was really neat.
Yeah.
And then again, the barn, not going to linger on it too much. A lot of younger actors, like some like children actors and stuff like that.
Yeah, they were like this big, like they were tiny.
Which definitely makes me feel like it might be like kind of more of a family, like affair type of situation with as many young actors who are in there. Didn't notice as many on the hayride, but yeah, there were a lot of young actors inside of the house. String girl.
There was a string some of the area was that, that string wall stuff with the glowing string. There was a girl in there, and she was dressed kind of in the ghillie suit, but her head was just like clowned up. Mm-hmm. And she was just poking her head around the corner, and then she would disappear, and we would go around another corner, and she was just poking her head again. And I'm like, I see you. And she's like, I know. And it was kind of cute. I liked it. But, I love the string walls. I don't know why.
But yeah, so judging actors on the hayride, I mean, we gave it a 10 because, like, there was just so many of them. They were so ferocious and just coming out of, like, every orifice. It was just nonstop from beginning to end. So yeah, the actors were great. Also, they had some decent cue actors. A really creepy clown person that was bouncing around on a bouncy ball, and like a pig guy, and there's some other actors. Oh, the Twin Bunny Girls.
Yeah, the Twin Bunny Girls. And they actually, I don't know if it was them.
It had to be different,
or if it was two other people dressed as the Bunny Girls, but they were actually on the hayride as well.
Because I also saw them, like, as soon as we got back up, and I don't know how they could have transported, because, I mean, again, the woods compared to where the farm is where you board is quite a ways back there.
Yeah.
But so now we're getting to scare factor. As I said earlier, it's more thrilling than it is scary. I do think this will be a fine one to take the kids to. They don't board the wagon, they don't touch you, but it is high intensity as far as, like, sensory overload goes. Yes. So if you do have a kid that experiences those kind of problems, or if you experience those yourself, lots of explosions, lots of fire, lots of loud noises. If that bothers you, probably don't go. But if that's okay, it's not going to be overly scary. It's just going to be extremely entertaining and fun to ride through.
Yeah.
So yeah, for scare factor, we gave it a 7, which is still fairly high on scare factor, just because of how I only got like 1 or 2 like jump scares, but I constantly felt overwhelmed though and entertained.
Yes, because you're like literally looking at every single corner. You're looking right, left, up, down, everywhere.
Yep. So it's going to bring us on to value. So it's $23 for the hayride, $34 for the combo. So essentially the haunted house is only $11. So if you want to do the haunted house, it's only $11 more to do that. Now the hayride was about a total of 17-ish minutes. 13 minutes of that was like actual like time that things were happening. So it's on the shorter side, but the thing is I feel like there's just as many scenes as there is on a longer hayride. You just took it at 4 times the speed.
Yeah. So, and plus they were just so close to each other. Whereas like you go on these other hayrides and they have huge dead spaces in between them. Yeah. And this was not. It was like boom scene,
Yeah, once it actually starts back in the woods, it's just nonstop. It's,
Don't provide a fast pass here at all. I think we mentioned that at the beginning, but yeah, it's basically the one price. You stand in the line, but again, it goes really fast because we were in that general admission line for it was about 30 minutes.
It was longer than that. It was closer to an hour. It was like 45 to 55 minutes we were there. But I mean, like there was a lot of people there, and hayride lines like. I would say this line was about as long as Sandyland Acres we did a few years ago. That was close to Cincinnati, and that one took like that was close to 2 hours. We were in there.
Yeah, that was long.
So I mean, we were in there for a long time, but again, it felt like something like Universal or Disney, where you just never stopped moving. Because I think it was 45 minutes because we got in line around 9:15 and we got on around 10 o'clock is when I started the timer for it. So, but again, it's a fairly long wait, but there was a ton of people there when we got there. So I mean, it wasn't the longest, but we do feel like it was really good quality. And $23 is a good price, I think, for the hayride.
Oh yeah.
It's not like crazy, insanely cheap value since it's shorter, but since it's really good quality and a lot of fun, we still think it's good value. So we gave it a 7.75 for value. So it's going to bring us on to our final score for the Haunted Hayride. We gave it a 9. So we really liked the Haunted Hayride. You absolutely should go and do that. Now for the barn, we weren't as crazy about the barn. It did feel like it was a little bit of an afterthought, like the hayride is the reason that you go there.
Yeah.
And again, that's why we really were only rating the hayride up until this point. But for the barn, we're going to give it a 6. I think that there's potential there. Like, it's a decent sized space. What I would like to see them do is just focus on, like, weird, like, entertaining things, kind of like they do for the hayride, instead of trying to be scary.
Yeah, like, do more, like, interactive scenes like they had on the hayride.
Right.
Like, where you, like, actually go into a thing, something happens, like make it a little bit more immersive than it was. Because it was kind of seemed like you were just kind of walking through, like, dark areas.
And also, like, this is the kind of place that I wouldn't even be that upset, because there's so much land back there, is if they just did away with the haunted barn and put all their time and effort just into the hayride.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, and I get why, but a lot of haunts feel like they need to have something else. If they're like typically just a hayride haunt, they want like a haunted house as well. But a lot of times the hayride is the main focus. Times the haunted houses are afterthoughts. It's like you can just be a great hayride. You don't need all the extra stuff. So that's just kind of like my thought there is I'd prefer if they just put all of it to the hayride. Maybe make it a little longer. I like the speed and all of that, but maybe add like a few extra scenes, especially if you're going to do away with like the house or whatever like that. But you absolutely should go visit this and do the hayride. It's only $11 more for the haunted house. If you've never been there before, I would recommend doing it. You might as well do it for $11 more. Especially, I think it would be good for like a kid's first time haunted house. It kind of get him into like some of the scarier haunted houses that are in the area, especially. But yeah, have you been there before? What did you think about it? Are you going to go there based off this review? Or did you not know about it until now? Which is weird. It had some of the not lowest reviews, but the least amount of reviews. Yeah. But it was the busiest one we went to.
Yeah.
So apparently a lot of people know about it locally because there was a lot of people there when we went. But yeah, I'm curious, you know, what other people think of it and if you've even heard of this place before, if you've heard of like the other ones. But make sure you are liking, make sure you are subscribing, make sure you're ringing the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.